sometimes, sometimes if I forgot to record this, please remind me so that I do not miss it. Right. Okay. Though many of you have already exposure to SAP from different capabilities, like Kanimori is working, Kanimori and Rashid, they are working in SAP like APO and other things. So they should know the basics of SAP, and also they are experts in this APO field. Sigmund is also using SAP for part of his job, and Mandar is already knowing SAP, but he just want to know specific knowledge, especially in the planning and MRP concepts. And Bhagavati is already experienced in this kind of IT, and he knows SAP as a top level. Maybe he wants to know that intricacies of SAP, those kind of. So you are all knowing about SAP, but still, in this introduction session, I just want to give you a brief. I want to start from the basics here. So what is the basic which I am talking about here? So this is the introduction which I talked about already about me, that what now I'm a consultant now, I'm a fixed recognized instructor, these experience details, these certifications what I got, all these things I introduced already. And the course goal is to have deep understanding of plan to produce and procure to pay process. This means that production planning and material management process. Also learn how to set master data on processes, which means that for any system, setting the master data is very important. Wherever the companies by which I am visiting, they do not focus on master data. That is a major issue. Because garbage in, garbage out, we all know. Right? So if we do not provide proper details into the system, then that is going to give wrong output only, and also will not be able to use the right process. That is with respect to master data. When I come into the processes, unless otherwise we write what we do, there will not be any clarity in what we are doing, especially with respect to the professional field, working area. I visit many organizations for consulting purpose. There was one organization, even they implemented SAP. I was surprised to see they don't have a proper blueprint documentation. As is and to be process is not there. Another company I went there also it was not there. Even now today do not define the process. But they have ISO. What is the purpose of ISO? ISO is to document what we are doing. Right? That is especially the ISO with some standards. That is especially the ISO purpose. It is to confirm what we are doing. We have to document them, and someone has to come and check, are we doing what is written there? That is the purpose of ISO exactly. If you do not document them, the clarity is not there. Means even recently also I came to know this. I experienced this. I told you that I am starting. I just recently started one consulting with a company, a chemical company, where I just wanted to see their processes, because I normally when I visit any company for consulting, I do not apply my experience from the previous project or something as it is into this new project. I revisit everything from the basics. That is my approach. Why? Every organization is different. No organization is same. It may be a mechanical industry producing the same product, but company A and company B, the way they are working may be different. The culture may be different. So what is working in company A may not be working in company B. This is one basic thing everybody should understand. Everyone should understand. Especially the consultants should understand. When you are going to an organization, right, You should not think that, okay, I applied this concept, I applied this solution in this organization so that I can replicate the same thing into the organization. No, it will never work. One example is Toyota, the lean concept. The Toyota success, what they achieved in Japan, they could not replicate the same success in any other place, even including Toyota. Why? Because the assumption, the basics, the culture, what was there in that particular unit, particular place, that was different from other places. That is making the difference. That's it. The DNA is changing. So defining the process for each organization is very important. So we have to understand what is happening there. That can be done only by write the processes and understand how to apply the concepts in SAP. Okay, these processes define how they are going to be done in SAP and how to support the business process with SAP. These are the things we'll be getting. Excuse me. I'm sorry for that disturbance. Yeah. So these are the objectives, right? So we are going to learn PP and MM, but related to these two modules or two processes, we'll see what are the master data relevant, what are the basic processes. One. Second, what is not written here. Whatever you are talking, whatever you are understanding, right? If you're taking SAP PP, that itself is like an ocean. If you take SAP MM, that itself is another ocean. Can we explore an ocean everything? No, nobody can do it. This means what? We will see how to navigate through this particular process. For example, production planning and material management. Broadly, what maximum we can cover, that will cover. Then later, you should be able to explore those things further, how to do it. But whatever you are learning here, that will give you that confidence, also the base on how to proceed further. That you can be confident, that you can be sure. Okay, right. Now, the contents here, we'll be talking about business process for functions, overview of SAP and evaluation, an organization structure, demand management, and then materials requirement planning, and then different planning concepts, MTS, MTO, other things. Sorry, this was prepared for another course, so I did not update it. Okay. So capacity requirement planning, purchasing, inventory management, production order execution, and wherever it is required, we'll discuss briefly about the integrations. Some concept on repetitive manufacturing is just the concept. That's it. Some of the reports related to PP and MM. These are the contents we are going to cover. But as we are going through the content itself, you will be able to appreciate there are something which you want to learn something new. You will be able to do it. That's how we will be preparing you. As I told, the course will be going on for 60 hours, 3 hours on Saturday and Sunday, total 10 weeks we are going to have. We started today and it will go up to 10th September. Though these sessions are recorded, I strongly suggest all of you please attend every session except some exceptional cases. Right? Attend all the sessions. If you are missing that, okay, then please go through the recording, because I was thinking that I will share the recording after completing all the sessions. But now I will share the recordings after the every weekend. No, for example, Saturday, Sunday, if it is completed, I will share the recordings. Like that, I will share it. Okay. So that before coming for the next session, please go through the contents and come back. Right. What is ERP? Very basic thing. ERP is a enterprise resource planning. It is a software, business software that is used to manage day-to-day business activities. Which means an ERP should be a complete package which should be able to handle planning, budget, predicting, and reporting of the organization, ending with the financial results. The financial statements are very important. Whatever we are doing, why the company is doing everything, it is for the financial results. ERP system is a combined one, right? It is not the individual silo of departments, but ERP is making everything as a combined one. And it should be able to facilitate proper flow of data among all the functions. They are all integrated. They are all integrated. They are not individual modules. For example, if we talk about material master, it contains all the details related to sales, purchasing, planning, quality, costing, everything. And if we talk about planning process, that is coming as a demand, which can be entered as an independent demand, or it may come as a demand coming from the sales order, which is a customer order, which is coming from sales. And how this demand, when you're running the plan, you have the MRP and other things, which is the input for the purchasing process and the production execution process. When you execute the process, right, then it is becoming the inventory management for that. We have to receive the materials, we have to do the goods issue. When you have the purchase orders, we have to get, that is from purchasing. You have to receive the material for purchasing, inventory management, inventory verifications. Whatever the materials we received from suppliers, we have to pay to them, account payables related to finance. What are the materials we sold to the customer? It is becoming account receivables related to sales. And whenever we do the production, when we do the purchase, we need to subject the material to the quality inspection. So it is an integration of quality. Like that, right? Everything is together. Data is flowing among them. It is a tightly integrated system, SAP or any ERP. By collecting an organization shared transactional data from multiple sources, ERP systems eliminate data duplication and provide data integrity with a single source of truth. So ERP systems are critical for managing thousands of business of all sizes in all industries. And now SAP is a market leader there. So ERP allows planning, procurement, delivery, tracking of orders, planning and control, information throughout the organization, sharing data, visibility across supply chain. At the same time, while the power and capability of ERP are higher, implementation cost is also increasing and needs a lot of data, time consuming, and also it needs a lot of efforts to implement. Many organizations spend this amount for implementation as a capital expenditure, whatever it is. They implement millions of amount. And also they put the efforts by allocating some people for the specific project. But are they using ERP as a ERP? Mostly no. They just get the ERP to handle their finance transactions or to create the orders, right? Only for the purpose they have it. They are not using ERP as a ERP. But see, the cost is high, data requirement is high, time consuming is high. They do all these things, but maintaining the proper data, maintaining the process, that is where they are missing things. So when they miss those things, right, then they are not able to get the result from the ERP what they implemented. The fundamental of any ERP is to have a single data structure where we should have common definition and user experiences. And data is the lifeblood for every company. This is the point which I am repeating everywhere I go. All of you, please take note of it. Data is very important. Once you put the right data, it is easy for ERP to work on it. Also, ERP can help to collect the details also, because everything is getting recorded there. Once you have all this data entered and the transactions are done properly, then the proper information will go to the respective stakeholders, which means the decision makers, to take the decisions in the informed manner, not based on some guess. So ERP is a vehicle for integrating people, process, and technologies across a modern enterprise. When you talk about people and process, here we standardize the processes, which means we can scale up. If we standardize the processes, we can scale up the process activities. For example, if you go to McDonald's, whatever the McDonald's across the world you go, they follow the same process. If you take, similarly, other places also, like Starbucks, or if you take Walmart, they establish a specific process, so they can scale up like anything, because there is a standardized process. It is not people dependent, but at the same time, when the process is different, people can understand the processes. They can perform and they can contribute in better way. Similarly, when people and technology is there, all the routine activities can be automated. So people can find time on other productively engaged job, or they productively improve, or they can innovate new things to do the job. Also, their monotonous activities will come down. Because of this, efficiency and the effectiveness of people will improve. When you talk about process and technology, and the process and technology combined, automation takes place. When you define the process with the right technology, we can automate it. For everything, the center point is data. For everything, center point is the data. If there is no proper data, everything will be collapsed. Right? So organizations, right, this triangle and the center point, they may have technology, they may have people, but mostly they miss these two, process and data. This is where the consultants should perform. If you streamline, then it will be, the system will take care. So you keep
Satya,
yes.
Satya, if I may, sometimes examples gives lot of meaning, right? Our company, we started the master data restructure 2 years back, and at the end of the first year, we were able to save nearly $150 million as a cost saving because of the master data restructure. And our CEO, by looking at it, and he restructured the organization in such a way that the organization should be led by data. And now they are planning for our company at present is around $10 billion company. And their aim by 2030, it will be a $20 billion company. And the CEO declares that they are going to achieve it just by data-led business. So that much of importance, each and every company started giving for the data. I thought of sharing that.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's validating the point which we are discussing so far, because even I was discussing at a small level, right? It was talking about some millions of Indian currencies, but you're talking about billions of US dollars or Canadian dollars, which makes huge impact. But that is the impact of data, whether it is small scale, medium scale, or big scale. Thank you for sharing this. Excellent. Like this, all of you, please be open to share your experience, because here no one is less experienced or more experienced, less expert or more expert. Each one of us are good in one area, so you can please share. It is not the one-way discussion like Bhagavati shared. All of you are, please be open to share, okay, your points. Right. Coming to this, a key principle in the central collection of data for wide distribution, ERP systems, they bring order so that all users, right from CEO to account payable clerk, they can create, store, and use the same data derived through the common process. Again, people have to see the same data. Also, the secured and the centralized data repository, everyone in the organization can be confident that the data is correct, up to date, and complete. Maybe these are all the elements. Now, what Bhagavati was stating, we are contributing to the improvements in that organization. Also, the data integrity is assured for every task performed throughout the integration, throughout the organization, from a quarterly financial statement to the single outstanding receivable report, whatever it is. This means what? The shared master data is driving everything, all the processes. You take planning process, you take manufacturing process, if you take purchasing process, you take HR, whatever the basic processes. Also, whatever we have these extended processes here, right? Those things also driven by the master data. So for any ERP to work properly, master data is very important. And an ERP is combining of various modules. And based on these modules, there are extended modules also there, like a transportation management, warehouse management, advanced planning and scheduling, engineering change. That's what now Kanimori and Rachit told they are working advanced planning and optimization, APO, those kind of things. So some of the top ERPs in the market, like Oracle, SAP, Dynamics, Bond, these are the ERPs. Now let us come to SAP. So SAP means what? What is SAP? So people used to say that SAP means it's a stupid and problematic because of mismanaged data on mismanaged processes. They also say that it is simply a pest, because if you don't proper implementation, of course, it will be like a pest only. And it is sorry after purchase. Again, it is a improper utilization of SAP. And then suffer after purchase. These are some funny abbreviations used for SAP. But not funny. This is the reality among various organizations. If you have seen in LinkedIn or some other social media, many organizations, right? They post the what is that? They post the SAP Go Live videos or SAP Go Live functions like that. They post it. When they do it, they cut the cake and then they celebrate it and all. Ultimately, the celebration is for that one day only. And then after that, right, everybody is struggling, everybody is fighting. All these, then slowly they switch over to the Excel files. And everybody is managing their Excel file on their own. Unless there is some initiative, like what Bhagavati mentioned, which is focused by the CEO of the organization, that the kind of push is happening. People will not focus on improving the data. People will not focus on improving the processes. Even one company which I am now consulting on the post implementation, right? Which I told you, right? Post implementation. That organization, again, they were missing a lot of master data. Now I am working with those people to streamline those master data. They were not having the processes. Now we are defining these processes. We are bringing a formal approach of the processing. Right, now coming back to this, so SAP is abbreviation of systems, application, products, and data processing. System, application, products, and data processing. So SAP has to be pronounced as SAP, not as SAP. Please take note of it. And SAP is one of the leading ERP software in the world, and SAP is a very interesting evolution from basic product to the product which is used till date. SAP is undergoing continuous evolution. SAP is undergoing continuous evolution, taking the clues coming from the organizations. Like, they started with the SAP R2 in 1979. Then it has become R3 in 1992. It has become ERP in 2004. 2015, they introduced SAP S4HANA. So S4HANA, there are various versions are there, like 15, 11, 16, 10, like that. That was talking about the year and the month. But now they streamline these things with the year itself, like 2020, 2021, like this. They brought the year itself. So these are the evolutions. For each and every evolution, they introduce some new concepts, the new way of doing it, the new integrations. Now, in the recent SAP S4HANA, when they moved from the ERP to S4HANA, the database speed was increasing in the multiple folds, like 1,000 times the speed increase. Because of this, many complex transactions were performing just from matter of minutes to matter of seconds, and they could build a lot of reports there. One. Second thing, they got the Fury as part of S4HANA. They brought the Fury, which is a web-based application of S4HANA. Earlier, until this ERP, it was not a web-based ERP. We have to use only the desktop. From S4HANA with the Fury, now they brought it as a web-based, so that you can use it. Now, even now, the training course which I am taking, right, the mechailmanagement.com, that system I am able to access in my mobile phone, in my tab, or in my desktop. That is how the facility is given, either through Fury or even through the S4HANA web itself. So these are the things which are doing it, and also now they become the cloud also. Now SAP has fixed a deadline. By 2027, everybody should move to S4HANA. The difference between ERP and S4HANA, like SAP and S4HANA, there is no major difference. You don't need to worry much about it. Right? Anyhow, whatever we are going to learn from here, these are the things which we will be referring this session. SAP is 1909. This is the version we'll be seeing. Or what is the other version? Anyhow, I will check it, when you're doing it. I think this is the 1909 2020. This is the version we are going to use it. No issues. Even if you are 2 versions older or 3 versions earlier, if you are there, that is fine. Because any small changes, they are doing it and upgrading it in the aspect, like some country specific legal things or some small new functions like this introduced it. Also, they brought the new things like integrated business planning. Those kind of things they brought there. So those things also brought up into these new versions. So this is the typical business process flow in SAP, right? So where you get the order, the query from the client, that is coming as a quotation, sales order is generated, and then they are checking to the sales planning, then MRP, then we get the quotation purchasing, and then we are getting the product which is produced, it is shipped, then it is coming as a general ledger, account payable, those kind of things are happening. Ultimately, what are the different functions there, like plant maintenance, asset management, general ledger, these kind of things are there. And also common modules like MM, FI, CO, asset management, like this different modules are also there. Now you can see here how the processes are integrated in SAP, how the business process is completely integrated throughout the SAP. This is what we can see here. So what are the different SAP modules? So there are functional modules which are having these HR, SD, MM, FICO, PS and other things. This, I think all of you know it. Apart from this, technical modules like ABAP, BASIS, BA, those kind of things. And also the experts coming from SAP, like consultants from technical area, BASIS, ABAP, functional, FI, CO, MM, those kind of things. Also, they have the functional modules or technical modules, those kind of things. This is from user point of view. Maybe this is just, basic thing. Okay, now let us see that basic modules, the processes, what are there. For example, MM, metal management, it starts with the determination of requirements. It may be a requirement coming from MRP to purchase a material, or it may be manual purchase requisition coming from the users. And then source determination, which source we are going to get it. And then selecting the vendor. And then process the purchase order. And then monitor the purchase order, do the goods receipt, carry out the invoice verification, payment process. So these are the overall process flow for materials management. Coming to production planning, the production planning starts with the demand management, for which the inputs are coming from sales orders, or the inputs are coming as the demand, what has entered into the system based on the discussions which are coming from sales and operations planning meetings. So based on long-term planning also, the planned independent requirement, this is the demand, which is the basis for system to plan, based on which MRP is running. This is giving the planned orders and also the purchase requisitions to purchase the materials. That is what the requirement determination, the MM. Planned orders are converted into production order and they're all released. We can also check the capacity, then execute the production. During execution of the production, goods issued for consumption, goods received, the finished goods are received. Sales activities, sales and distribution. The sales order is generated based on the query and quotations coming from the sales, which are the pre-sales activities. There may be a contract with the sales. Sales order is generated. Sometimes there may be a scheduling agreement with the customers. These sales orders, they are flowing through the planning process. They're executed. Production is done, metal is received, or purchasing is done, metal is received. They are delivered and goods issued, which are going there as a system billing point, or transfer to the other plant, or shipment to the customers, whatever it is. Billing document will be created for account receivables. These are the sales and distribution. Finance and controlling, if you take, there is a controlling process where which involves a cost element, cost centers, activities, multiple orders. Also, there is a profit center accounting, cost center accounting. Also, the finance accountings, where they talk about the material inventory, goods receipt, vendor, purchase orders. When you talk about customers, invoicing, billing, goods issue, finished goods inventory, those kind of things. And from production, take care of the production activities, what is the cost of production, and do the variations and find out on what is the accounting happening there. So these are the things which are taken care from the finance and control. Quality management, it is taking care of the quality inspection, quality planning, quality notifications, and the reports are out there. And then other module is the plant maintenance, where the maintenance planning is done with respect to planning of organization, who has to do what, and operations like what are the requests which are coming from users to perform some maintenance activities, and the workshop, what is going on. Finally, what is the history of the maintenance? These things are carried out. And then warehouse management. Here again, warehouses are handled very detailed way of handling the materials, like receive the materials, division the roles, and then reserve the materials there, quality control, packaging, preparation of orders. Then the products have to be stored independently, then handling them like issue, to the production or issue to the packaging or consolidation. All these kind of things are happening in the warehouse management. And then project systems also there, where you create the template for projects. The project is getting created, project is planned, budgeted, release, implementation, follow. So there is a project system. PS is the module. HR success factors. Now SAP has bring up this HR module separately as a success factors in S/4HANA. So here they are talking about all the modern user experience which can handle through mobile phone analytics. Also, they start with the employee central, where employee record other things. They build the competencies. Also, the recruiting, learning, performance management, compensation, all these things. So now they brought this as a separate license itself, success factors. And SAP claims it is very much advantage to this, but I have not seen much of the people who are using the success factor so far. And also the project systems. In my experience, I have not seen them. Many of the people, right? Many people are using some software to do the payroll processing, and then they post all these things through GL accounts in the SAP. That's what they are doing with respect to the people. Otherwise, there is no SAP implementation of this HR module or success factors in my knowledge in many organizations. This is from my point of view. Now, we saw different modules there, like metal management, production planning, quality management, sales and distribution, like this. These things are now become as the process, streamlined procure-to-pay, accelerated plan to product, plus optimized order to cash. Right? We will discuss them in the next part. Will join and discuss it again. Let us break it here. We will join the next part. So let us join by part 3 now. Okay.